Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the Coaxium Cantina. I'm Benjamin.
And I'm Aidan.
In today's episode, we are going to be talking about the Bad Batch, episode 4, called Concerned. No, Cornered. Oh, that was good.
I'm.
There we go. That's it. I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye. Right, no. Again, this is a bit late. We've been super busy this weekend. We're trying to get better at it, but we're doing it. This entire week we've been really busy. But let's get on to this. Cornered, episode 4 of the Bad Batch. Aidan, what do you think?
Well, personally, I thought this was one of the weaker episodes.
Agreed.
I did like how it introduced Fennec. However, and also I was going to say, I think her design, whilst it really didn't differ from the preview we got, I don't think it was as bad in the actual show as it was in the screenshot. I thought it was like ever so slightly better. Because the shot made her look like a Fortnite character.
I
whereas
think she's still dead,
this,
to be honest.
well,
I didn't like
it wasn't exactly the best, but I think seeing it play out was a bit better. Obviously, I would prefer it be changed a bit, but hey ho, that's what we got now.
I just thought it looked like a cardboard cutout, to be honest. You know,
yeah,
like, it was very. The corners were very. Like, she had corners on her face. Like, what?
I mean, the dark side of the Force of pathways many abilities, some consider be unnatural, so
yeah.
Even though she's not a Force either. But whilst, as I said, whilst this is one of the weaker episodes, it was good because it's kind of starting to build a premise, because these episodes so far have been go to this place, do this, and kind of making up the story as it goes on. Whereas the inclusion of Fennec is basically saying, right, there's a bounty hunter after us now. We need to. It's basically building a story, because it's saying we need to know why Omega's being targeted and who hired Fennec. So it's building a bit more of a stronger story that will actually lead somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. I think that obviously you have the idea that Omega is someone important, because I mean that's already been established. But then you have the idea that they want her back, so she's obviously someone very, very important. Or is it even the Kaminoans that want her back?
Well, I might say I probably would say someone else, because I don't think Tarkin knew of her. Well, Crosshair does, so maybe he might be informed, but the Kaminoans seemed as though they were happy to let her be taken by the Bad Batch and taken to safety.
I think that if it was Crosshair, he would have gone himself, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But what did you think to, obviously, Fennec being in there? Because when it was announced that Fennec Shand was going to be in the Bad Batch, it was speculated
it felt quite false.
It was speculated that it was, they're trying to force this character that they've made up into another show, so it feels natural, kind of thing.
I mean, I still kind of felt like that, but I think that the way they did it, like actually in the episode, was quite good, because I mean, obviously, if you need a bounty hunter, you're gonna hire 9 times out of 10, you're gonna hire a famous one, and a well-known one by the audience. And I think, to be fair, the way how she acted in the episode was quite organic. It didn't feel forced. And she was quite a badass as well. So,
to be fair, yeah.
So I am.
You got
her design. I am happy with her.
I don't know. She just reminds me of that whole sequence reminded me a bit of Attack of Clones, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can see where you're coming from there.
So I like
not
that.
happy. I'm not happy with how easily Wrecker was taken out.
Oh yeah, that was a bit odd. That was another thing I was going to come on to, because obviously last episode we had Wrecker hitting his head, and then he kind of felt like, it was made a big deal about it, right?
Yeah.
This week, once again, he hit his head. Is this going somewhere with his chip, maybe?
Well, I don't think so, but I think instead of the chip, it's setting up the big enemy for this series, which is a headache.
Sounds about right, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere chip-wise. I just think it's the fact that he's quite... I'd like to say that what she was doing was like using his strength against him, because he did almost like a charge attack at her, and she just like pushed him into the wall, which was basically him putting all of his force on his head. So I don't necessarily think the head thing's going anywhere. It's just that he's quite cerebrally undeveloped compared to the other members. So I think it's just playing on that he keeps, I don't know, messing with his head, I think.
Yeah. But I just think that the fact that it could be they could make it very, I don't want to say emotional, but gut-wrenching, I guess, if they're building up this bond between Wrecker and Omega, which is obvious that they are. It's like it's like a brother and sister type thing. If Wrecker's chip goes wrong, and then that happens like that, basically.
I think that would be very good, because this is the way they're making him more mature. You can tell throughout the episodes he's doing less of the I want to blow stuff up and stuff like that. And he's more caring. And even in this episode, he didn't even when he saw Omega in the maintenance tunnels, he didn't really say anything. He was like, "Oh, you're safe, thank God, let's get you out of here." And then when Fennec was down the other side, he was like, "Quick, you need to go." And then he went to hold off Fennec. So it is I do like his character a lot more than season 7 of the Clone Wars.
100%.
And I do agree with you. That would be gut-wrenching if they got him to do Order 66.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering whether, because technically he hasn't heard it, has he?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, but not since like banging his head or something. There's two ways that they could do it, basically. One is say that he banged his head, that activated his chip, and he hadn't heard it since then. Or they could do it so that the next time he actually sees a Jedi, he goes for them.
I don't know. I personally don't think the head thing is going anywhere. I just think it's an unfortunate coincidence.
I think it's a very weird thing. Like, they've been pointing it out too much for it to not go somewhere. You don't point things out in films unless it's gonna go somewhere. Unless it's Star Wars and it was made by Disney.
Well, let me tell you.
Bones. I don't like Bones. Why do we need to know that?
I mean, just unnecessary.
It is, really, isn't it? But that's the rise of Skywalker for you. So I just think that it's a bit weird to point it out and then just not do anything with it.
I mean, maybe they might do something, but I personally don't think they will.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want them to. Actually, I think it would be quite cool. But would it, though? It doesn't have, like, Wrecker's not the same. Crosshair. You could see Crosshair. I mean, we discussed this in our theories one before we watched it. Our theories episode. You can see Crosshair being in the Empire, can't
Yeah. It's
Like,
because he
you
has that
see
naturally sinister kind of.
exactly, yeah. Whereas Wrecker, he's not. His personality doesn't suit it, and I know, obviously, no matter what your personality is, the chip still works. The chip still works the way the chip works.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So it doesn't really matter about personality. But in terms of a storytelling point of view, there's no hints or anything that he would go against them, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they definitely.
Whereas with Crosshair, they were building it up. I think that he was questioning Hunter's leadership and all that kind of stuff. So they were still building it up. Whereas there's none of that with Hunter, with Wrecker.
Sorry. I think the Crosshair is going to be the only member of the Bad Batch that will go to the Empire, personally. But I think if they made another member do it, then it would be a bit too like, oh no, it's happened again.
I saw a thing on Instagram, and it was, Crosshair's helmet.
Yeah.
I saw something that said, is that group going to be the prototype Death Troopers?
Ooh.
From Rogue One.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
I think their helmets are very similar.
They are very similar. Well, I mean,
they're all kind of similar, but
they are. I did see something that I'm not sure if it was just making something up for the sake of it, but the woman on Crosshair's squad apparently has been pointed out to look remarkably similar to Iden Versio. Now, what would you think about that?
That's an interesting one, actually.
I think we might maybe save that. Might save that for another video.
Yeah, Iden in the Bad Batch is going to be another video. I know. I said there's going to be another video. If you watched last week's one, the 501st versus 212 is still coming. We just haven't had time to do it this week.
Very busy. Respectively, but yeah.
If you haven't seen last week's podcast, what are you doing?
Do it. Do it now.
Exactly. You gotta do it now, or you disrespect the whole of Star Wars. So.
Yeah. Why would you do that? But I think, I think, to be fair, every series has the weaker episode, and this was definitely
this is the weakest episode we've had so far.
But that's not necessary to say it was bad either.
Exactly, yeah. It wasn't bad.
Like, I loved Echo in this. Like, he was just like, "Oh, why are you selling me? You can't sell me for that much. At least get a bit of price."
And then I just love the casual way he walked out the shop. Like, yep.
Oh yeah. It was that as well. He gave him the restraining bolts, and they was like, "You got me for a bargain." It's like, you literally just robbed the man of his droids. He just didn't care.
Did the droids go back to work for him afterwards?
I don't know. I really don't.
They are idiotic droids if they did that.
Yeah. But yeah,
can we talk about the
sassy protocol droid?
No, well, I mean, we can talk about that, but I was more indicating the prick that was running the landing pad.
Yeah, he was a bit of an ass, wasn't it? I was expecting Fennec to kill him, but she was just like, "Oh no, just give me a ring if they drop by again."
To be fair, I'm still trying to establish kind of what character she is, if you know what I mean.
Fennec?
Yeah, like as in, is she a bounty hunter like Boba Fett, where she's utterly ruthless, or is she a bounty hunter that just gets the job done in a simple way as possible?
I think it might be simple way as possible, because it seems like that would essentially be a case of, if she killed that informant, if they came back, she'd have nothing. So she's being very clever in the sense where she's building a network to track them down.
Yeah.
But I think she is ruthless because she's made her name that way. So I expect that if she shows up again, which she will, I think she'll be a bit more
even
ruthless.
If she doesn't show up in the Bad Batch, she's in the Book of Boba Fett anyway.
Exactly. And she's 100% going to be ruthless there. I have no doubt in my mind.
That's what I was trying to work out. If she's like a ruthless character like Boba Fett, are we going to get some incredible, in terms of brutality, are we going to get some incredible scenes that way?
I would assume so, and I'd actually hope for it, because you have once again going off track, but you've got a character like Boba Fett and Fennec. You've got to do it as ruthless as possible.
Oh yeah,
there's just no way of
100%. If you, as you said, if you've got a character as iconic as Boba Fett, it's the weird thing though, because in many ways they can do what they want with Boba Fett, because he's iconic as anything, but he hasn't
actually got any story. Yeah.
So it's one of those weird and unique situations where, like, if you were to take Darth Vader, you couldn't do whatever you want with him because he's already got a character. Whereas Boba Fett has nothing apart from that. As in, that's not a bad thing, because obviously he's getting in the show now. But the fact that, you've literally just got his father, he wants a little bit of revenge for his father, and he's sort of ruthless in the way he does things. I mean, that's as simple as it comes in terms of criteria for a character. You can literally do anything you want with that. And again, going off topic, but I think him taking over Jabba's palace was probably the best thing that he could have done, to be honest, for his character, which is brilliant. And again, with Fennec Shand, we'll see what her character is like. Whether it's again, I don't want it to be a copy of Boba Fett. But at the same time,
you need something. You need something similar.
You don't want to bring the show of the Book of Boba Fett down by having her not be brutal.
Yeah.
It's either all brutal or none of it's brutal. And I know which one I rather.
Oh, same here, 100%.
Definitely. So Fennec Shand, we spoke about that. Wrecker's ship. That's literally all I have written down for this episode. It was quite not a boring episode, but not action-packed episode.
Yeah, the premise was a supply run. I'm not even sure if they got the supplies in the end. They fixed the ship, but I'm not even sure if they did get the supplies.
Oh yeah, no.
I think Hunter might have put them in his bag or something.
No, because that's what Hunter was out there doing, wasn't it?
Yeah, because he went with Echo and Omega.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume he popped it in his bag that he had on his back, but aside from that, we don't know.
Very interesting. So, in terms of future episodes, got any further predictions that you've established from this episode?
I think it's
with Omega or something.
It's gonna be a basis of tracking down or figuring out who's hired Fennec. So I'd probably say story things from the trailer that we have still yet to see is the Zygarians, Rex, and them going to Raxus. So that's 3 things that could somehow be tied in with Fennec as well.
Oh, I know what we need to talk about.
The
fact that they went to Pantora.
Yes. I was trying. That's what it is. I honestly, Hunter said Pantora, and I was like, Pantora. Why does that sound so familiar? Yeah. And then when I was watching the episode, I was like, hey, those security guards are that species.
Yeah.
And now that you've said that, I'm like, oh my god, that's why.
It's because it's Dave Filoni.
Dave knows what he's doing.
Dave loves an Easter egg. Easter egg. I don't know why I said that so weird. Dave loves.
He knows how to connect. He knows how to connect his universe.
Look, Filoniverse. I'm up for it. All right, it needs to happen. Filoniverse needs to happen.
I mean, we've essentially already got it. We've got the animated Filoniverse.
Oh my god, it's insane. Also, another thing, we won't talk about this now, but it will be in a future episode, I'm sure. I think Dave Filoni got a promotion in Lucasfilm.
He did.
I heard some things about it saying like he got a promotion about a year ago, but it's only been updated on the website.
Right.
But at least now he's officially got it.
Yeah. Now he's being held to his true potential.
Yeah, whether he's had it for a year or not, he's now officially got it. Which is brilliant. I think it's something like the creative director or something.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he 100% deserves it.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the man has.
Honestly,
he makes good shit.
The only person who I think would do a better job in Kathleen's role is Jon Favreau. Only because I'm not sure Dave will be able to. I mean, I don't know him, so obviously I can't.
I don't know the man personally.
I can't speak for his potential because I've never seen him. So, but I don't think that the business side of it interests him.
Yeah.
But I think the creative director is probably the best role for him because he can make some good shit.
He can.